All right, so what's good, homies? What's good? It's your man King Ray Ray. Back up in the joint again, doing what we do, representing. I'm trying to get myself situated, man, in the frame right. Trying to make sure I get myself in the frame right, man. So what's good, homies? What's good? Appreciate everybody being in the joint. Let's get ready to do it. Y'all put a one in the chat if y'all can hear me loud and clear, man. If y'all can hear and see me loud and clear the way you need to, man, go ahead and stick a one in the chat so we can go ahead and get going today, man. Let's go ahead and do our thing, man. Go ahead and get going. Salute, salute. Markel, what's good, young homie? The Money Boys, I see y'all in here, man. Repping that spiritualism. I see y'all in here, man. One Love City. What up, City? Let's get ready to do it, man. I appreciate y'all joining me once again in the kingdom of Ray. I told y'all we're going to get a little bit more consistent over here in the kingdom, and that's exactly what we're doing. This is what the men need to hear. The men who have mastered the interaction with women need to be listening and sharpening spiritual steel. That's what we're doing. Spiritual steel sharpens spiritual steel. That's why we come to the kingdom and get the spiritual spill. SJ3, my brother, salute. Appreciate you being in the joint, man, repping the mod squad. Let's give the people another minute and a half or so. We'll go in 3 minutes. Don't want to hold y'all in here too long. I know it's midday. I know you have things to do. I have things to do as well. So let's get in here, knock it out real quick, get this spiritual awakening, this spiritual healing, and move on with our day. Refreshed, replenished. Today's topic, how to keep from continually knocking yourself down every time God mercifully picks you up from another mess you made in your life. Stop knocking yourself down again every time God so mercifully picks you up from the mess that you've allowed yourself to be in. How do you knock yourself down? By not learning from the lessons of life. See, life, they say experience is the greatest teacher, but I say life is the greatest teacher. You put those two together, you have life experiences. Those are the greatest teachers. So when you don't learn the lessons from those life experiences, what happens to you? You fall again. And you end up singing that song, well, a saint is just a sinner who fell down and got up. But we want to stay up. You understand what I'm saying? We don't want to fall down and get up. We want to stay up. See, falling down is a choice, man. Falling down is a choice. You ain't got to fall. But right before you fall weak to temptation, right before you give in to sin, right before you go ahead and do that thing that you know is going to bring negative energy to your life, you have a choice to make. And every time you make that choice to fall, you have to remember it was your choice. How many times in your life have you made that wrong choice? And then you sit there and tell God like he's some type of, like he don't know what's going on. God, if you get me out of this one, I'll never do this again. How many times you found yourself back in the same situation again? Let me tell y'all something right now. If you're alive and well, and you can function in this world and keep striving to achieve the things you need to strive to achieve, then God is still forgiving you for all the times you knock yourself back down. See, giving up is for the dead. Giving up is not for the living. When it's your time and you're about to close your eyes for the final time, hey man, that's when you give up. It doesn't matter how bad things seem. They seem a little bit better when you realize that you made the decision to fall again. Because let me tell you one thing God won't never do, man. He ain't gonna never knock you down. When you down, it's because you knocked yourself down. So how do we avoid this? How do we avoid this? First thing we have to do is understand the difference between friends and enemies is a small one. It's a small one. And this is going to blow your mind because it has nothing to do with them. The difference between friends and enemies is you trust friends and you don't trust enemies. But let me tell you how crazy that is. Every time you get burned by the friend that you trust. You never get burned by the enemy that you don't trust. So what does this mean, King Ray Ray? What does this mean? It means keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Because I'm going to be honest with you, throughout your lifetime, baby, you will never know the truth about which is which. You will never know the truth about which is which. Especially the way we live in our feelings today. Especially the way we live in our feelings. We live in our feelings. So whoever you feel closer to emotionally, you trust them. Whoever you feel further away from emotionally, you don't trust them. Think about all the foul things that happen to people in this society. Now, we're not talking about the random acts. We're talking about the things that happen in your life. Most of them happen from people that are close to you, man. So keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Keep them all close. In other words, keep your eyes on your friends the same way you keep your eyes on your enemies. Because trusting the wrong person is something that'll help you knock yourself back down again. No matter how many times God has mercifully picked you back up. See, like the brother SJ3 says, people pleasers. I was just talking to a little short about that not long ago, man. Stop being a people pleaser. People pleasers have a job that never pays off because people are never pleased. You please them one way, they want to be pleased another way. You please them that way, there's always something that somebody can bring to you and say, well, do this now if you want to please me. Okay, you've done that. Well, do this now if you want to please me. You ain't got time to be a people pleaser because you got to be too busy trying to please God. You ain't got time. Another thing that helps you knock yourself down, no matter how many times God so mercifully picks you up from the mess you created in your life, you overlook the energy of people. See, the people closest to you hurt you the most because you're more likely to overlook their energy. You're more likely to look at that person and say, nah, they would never do that. When the person that you don't like and have a disdain for is probably the person that wouldn't do that. See, we're taught family is family and sticks together no matter what. No matter what family does to you, you got to stick with them. They can do you all kind of wrong, but you can't move on because when you leave family, then you're all alone. But that's just a myth. That's a figment of the imagination of people who don't want to step out on faith in their lives. The only one you can rely on to keep you from falling is yourself. But if you so caught up in other people and pleasing other people and doing what other people want you to do, you can't even protect yourself from falling. Let me tell you something. You know the difference, man. I'll give y'all a perfect example. I was in Connecticut, man, at Airbnb. They had a rolling chair at the desk. Now, I'm sitting on a rolling chair, little lightweight rolling chair. I'm sitting on it, right on the edge of it, bending over to tie my shoe, right? So, I was working at the desk, and so I just said, "Man, let me go ahead and put my shoes on right quick. I'm trying to get ready and finish working at the same time." So, man, in my haste, that chair just slid from under me. Now I had two choices: go straight down, or put my hands down to brace myself. Put my hands down to brace myself. For a minute, there, man, I thought I had fractured my forearm. But you know what? I'd rather fracture my forearm than fracture my spine on the way down by not bracing my fall. Fortunately for me, everything was good. I mean, because it literally just shot from under me. It's like somebody pulled it from under me. And there I was. The only thing I can do was brace myself with my hands, man. But if I had been focusing on somebody else or had my hands tied up in something that somebody else wanted me to do, even though I probably shouldn't have been doing, if I had my hands available for somebody else to use however they wanted it to use, if I had been holding something for somebody else when I knew I needed my hands for myself, guess what would have happened? Guess what would have happened when I fell, man? I wouldn't have been able to brace my fall. See, here's the thing about bracing your own fall, breaking your own fall. The more you break your fall, the more you don't want to fall no more. Because sometimes bracing yourself hurt worse than the fall would have hurt in the first place. You get tired of falling if you let yourself go down now. Stop thinking that other people are going to care enough about you to keep you from falling. They're not. They're not. They don't have to. You shouldn't expect them to. Here's another thing that keeps you falling right back into I'm not talking about falling in different spots, people. I'm talking about falling right back into the same position again. You feel obligated to overpay people for your previous actions. You did something wrong to somebody 5 years ago. You've been trying to make it up to that person for 6 years. It don't even bother them no more, but they ain't gonna stop you from trying to make it up to them. You are guilt tripping yourself. Let me tell you something, man. Once God picks you up from whatever you fell into, it's over. You're not tied to it no more. How you gonna let people keep you tied to something that God didn't pick you up and forgave you for? Stop knocking yourself back down every time God so mercifully picks you up. And every time you do it, it's because of people. Who you gonna put first, the people or the Lord? Who you gonna put first, man? See, many people have a problem embracing the true word of God because it ain't easy. See, I'm in the South. In the South, it ain't easy for people to stop eating pork. It ain't easy for people to stop eating all these different abominable creatures down in the South with all this water down here. It ain't easy for them to stop eating all these sea creatures. It ain't easy for people to rest on the Sabbath day. They got things to do. They got to go to church on Sunday. They work 5 days a week. They ain't got but one day to go out there and do everything. They ain't got no time to rest, man. It's a whole lot easier for everybody just to say, well, we just do away with that law. We're not bound by none of that no more. If you're not bound by law, then you live in a lawless manner. Lawless means in absence of laws. Now, you can live by the laws of the land, but you can't live by the laws of the big man. Help me understand it. Living by the laws of the land keep you from paying the price. Living by the laws of the man pays heavy dividends, man. See, when you embrace God's word, you understand it gives you the right and the duty to cut off negative energy and evil people out of your life. It doesn't matter who they are. It's not going to tell you, but because that's your mama, because that's your dad, because that's your brother, you need to invite them into your life, even though they keep bringing evil energy. No, it's going to tell you, man, hey, man, you have the right to cut everybody off. That was the time when you could take those people to the middle of the city and have them stoned, and your hands will be the first upon them. But we live in a world that's over religious and under righteous. You understand what I'm saying? Over religious, under spiritual. Over religious, under moral. Over religious, under logical. And that's what we're dealing with this society. And if you allow yourself to get caught up in that, eventually, if you're not functioning in logic, moral fiber, and the intense desire to live a life that's pleasing to God, then you're going to fall again. And you're not just going to fall, you're going to knock yourself down. Can you imagine a boxer sitting in the ring and saying, wait a minute, opponent, you ain't got to knock me out, and he knock himself out? Can you imagine that? What would his record be? What kind of crowd will he ever be able to draw again? How much respect would he get from his peers? What manager would train him again? Well, that's what you're out here doing in your life every day. Every day, you out here in your life, knocking yourself down again every time God pick you right on back up. Pick you up, dust you off, say, keep going. You do it again. At what point do you believe? At what point do you believe that God's going to get fed up with you trying to fool him? With you trying to run game on him? With you being weak? With you putting people before you put him? How long you think that's going to be okay? See, When you are out here in the world trying to win in life, you have to be able to discern those who want you to win from those who don't want you to win. Because there's two people who, when you run in that race, they bringing you a cup of water. One of those people bring you a cup of water because they want you to stay hydrated. Other person want to seem like they're a part of it, but they spit in your water before they brought it to you. One person's bringing you the best spring water in the world. The other person bringing you water from Jackson, Mississippi or Flint, Michigan. Some water you don't want. And that is no knock on Flint, Michigan or Jackson, Mississippi, but they are both having serious water crisis. You have to be able to know who you should have in your life and who you shouldn't have in your life. Who's bringing energy around you that wasn't around you before? That's negative. We focus so much on who's bringing positive energy. You ain't focusing on who bringing negative energy. You can focus so much on the positive that you ignore the negative. The same way you can be such a negative person that you ignore the positive. That you ignore the positive around you. Y'all skip that part. But you have to put yourself in the proper mindset to be able to do the proper things. You have to. If you can't do that, then you might as well give up. Because if dying just doesn't mean laying in that grave, laying in that coffin, you can die inside, man. You can die inside. Dying inside is worse than dying outside. Because dying inside, you're out here and you're still going. You still got to do things, but you're not reaping any benefit, any joy. You're not reaping anything that you should be reaping for striving to live the life that you need to live, man. You have to live. And in order to live, you have to be standing upright. You can't keep knocking yourself down. Let me tell you something. When you're laying down, when the last time you've been laying down and you've been able to walk forward or backward? When the last time you were laying down, you've been able to jump? When the last time you were laying down, you've been able to drive? You can't even eat laying down. When last time you laid down and drunk a bottle of water, man? When the last time you laid down and showered? When the last time you laid down and worked out? When the last time you laid down and ate a clean meal? When the last time you laid down and went and helped the poor and needy? When the last time you laid down and cleaned up your house? When the last time you laid down and did your laundry? It don't make no sense to always keep knocking yourself down, because every time you knock yourself down, you out of commission, man. You are out of commission every time you knock yourself down. You can't afford to do it. You can't afford to knock yourself down. You can't afford to always be laid down. You can't afford to always be mixed up. I'm out of focus, man. I ain't noticed that. You cannot afford to do that all the time, man. You got to be in a position where you can win. You got to be in a position where you let God help you win. Your emotional attachment to people, places, and things can never outweigh your spiritual attachment to the Most High. You can't allow that to happen. The moment that happens, you begin to lose at life. See, falling down isn't the problem. Falling down and realizing that God ain't showing you no mercy and picking you up again, that's when you're in trouble. So why keep falling? Yes, the burdens of life get heavy sometimes. They may weigh you down, but don't knock yourself down. If they weigh you down, that's a different thing. But if you managing those burdens well and then you knock yourself down, man, listen, let's be honest. When you make bad decisions in life as a reasonable and prudent adult, then you deserve the consequences that come with that. The consequences are going to come, and you deserve those consequences. Why? Because you are looking at life saying, I'm going to do the wrong thing and expect a right result. How do you think that's going to happen? How do you think that's going to even work? When you have emotional attachment to people, places, and things, you can't even block their ulterior motives. People have ulterior motives around you all the time. People want to see you fall, but they hope that you don't fall because they can benefit if you don't fall. But listen, the thin line between wanting to benefit from your rise and getting the satisfaction from your demise is thin for people that are against your success. People that are the enemies of your success. Yes, they will love the benefit of you being successful, but they don't want you to be successful so bad that they'd almost rather risk that and lose that just to see you fall. And those are the people that you're giving control of your life by allowing them to influence your decisions, by allowing them to influence what you do, by allowing them to influence what you think. You know, you know the people who don't mean you no good in your life. So anytime you say you don't, you're just acting like you don't. You acting like you don't care about protecting your own life. You're acting like you don't care about receiving the blessings that the Most High has for you. Because there are ulterior motives based on your emotional attachment, which you've seen and experienced your entire life. It is not like you have never experienced the ulterior motives that you are victim to when you are emotionally attached to someone. This life is not about emotional attachment. It is about spiritual astuteness. You mean to tell me it's better if a man provide for his family because he love them so much than it is if a man provide for his family because it's his duty as a man when he takes on a family? Which family is going to be happier? If the man who does it because it's the duty of a man is worth 10 million and the man who does it out of love is worth $10, who's going to be a happier family? Who's going to be a more comfortable family? Who's going to be a family with a better chance of success in this particular society? You see, it ain't got nothing to do with love. It ain't got nothing to do with emotion. It got something to do with devotion. It got something to do with the promotion of the positive relationship with the Most High that men in this particular society must have, especially those men who are direct descendants of the children of Israel. We must have that. Another thing that happens when you ain't got that type of relationship with the Lord, man, you can't even sense evil. You sit around all the time in environments that shouldn't happen. Young rap guy, PNB Rock, just got handled at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle in Inglewood. I'm talking about at lunchtime. People just walked into the restaurant. Why? Because his girlfriend posted their location, posted where they were on social media. Totally unaware, no sense of evil, no sense of direction, no sense of instruction. Because if you don't have a relationship with God, man, you just ain't gonna know how to navigate society. You're not gonna know how to navigate society. It's not coming to you. You can think, you can sit down, you can brainstorm, you can do whatever you want to do. But if you don't have a relationship with the Most High, man, it's not coming to you. You might as well give it up. You know why? Because you're weak. A man's strength is spiritual. If you don't have a spiritual connection to the Most High, you don't have no strength. You don't have strength. I mean, you have no strength at all. No strength in any area. You don't have any strength, man, if you don't have a connection with the Most High. You simply don't. And if you did, you understand that your main problem is you don't know God yet. See, a lot of men were raised in an environment where they were taught that you got to go to church to find God. So all your life, you were taught that if you're not in church, God ain't with you. So what does that do? If you raise someone thinking that, then anytime they not able to go to church, or they in a situation where they can't go or don't want to go, whatever happened, you leave them to believe, okay, God ain't with me anyway. I might as well just go head out here. That's what you tell them, man. It could be some similar. A man got a new job, he got to work on Sunday now. But from what you're telling that man, you need to come on back to church. You need to go. Why? You mean tell me that man ain't no God with me? You mean tell me I don't go to church? You mean tell me ain't no God with me? All the obstacles I face out here in life, man, you mean tell me God ain't with me? You mean tell me the only time I get access to God when I go to that building on Sundays? That what you're telling me? So where the breath of life in me come from then? Help me understand that. Why am I alive? And don't tell me about no Big Bang theory and nothing like that. I don't want to hear that type of crap. Tell me, why am I alive? What is causing this? What is causing that? Inhale, exhale. What is causing this moral fiber that I have? What is causing this connection to the Most High that was never taught to me? Don't be weak by allowing society to tell you what you ought to do, when spiritually deep down inside you already know what you should be doing. You know what you should be doing. It's in you, same way as in me, same way as in all men. You know what you should be doing, but you're being weak. You're allowing the society and the environment and the people around you to dictate to you what you should and shouldn't be, what you should and shouldn't do, how you should and shouldn't feel, what you should and shouldn't say. And all you're doing is blocking your own blessings, holding on to curses. That's all you're doing. You're blocking your own blessings. See, that's what falling down means. All knocking yourself down. If you're knocking yourself down, you're blocking your blessings too. That's all you're doing. Because there ain't no blessings for you laying down. You got to keep going forward. They're on the path forward. Every time you fall down, you don't know how long it's going to take you to get up. Just because you fall don't mean you're going to get right back up. It may take you some time to recover. Now what you got? A whole lot of downtime, literally downtime, where you ain't making no connection with the things you ought to be doing, no connection with the blessing that you should be stressing. Let me tell you something, man. And I'm going to say this to you, man, before we slide on out of here. God is a merciful God, but only if you let him be. We don't listen to people who say anything negative about this type of understanding. If you don't like it, if you don't believe it, fine, go to the right. If you do believe it, but not the same way, go to the left. We are on a mission in our lives. And we have found that the greatest connection we can have is not with a woman, not with a man, not with our children, not with a fan, not with this society. It is with the Most High, the God of Israel. And that's what we will continue to do over here in the kingdom of Ray. Let's slide out of here, man. Famo, salute. SJ3, my brother, salute to you. Let's get ready to run on out of here, man. Look, y'all put God first. Keep grinding and growing, man. And we'll be back into the kingdom tomorrow, man. We'll be back in here tomorrow. Delano M. Young, appreciate the $100 sponsorship of the show, my brother. Salute. Appreciate you, man. Music Street, appreciate the dub. Salute to you, Doc. Thank you for bringing me back to the Most High. Yeah, man. That's the place to be. With the Most High is the place to be. Hanging out with the Most High, chilling with the Most High, living with the Most High, balling with the Most High, resting with that's the place to be. You are a needy individual because you don't have the relationship with God that you need to have. If you develop your relationship with the Most High, man, everything you need in life will fall at your fingertips. All the tools you need to navigate, everything will fall at your fingertips. But you got to be consistent with it. You got to convince the Most High that you follow him for real. You can't just say it. You got to convince him. He got to be able to look at you over a period of time and see that you living your life a certain way, that you're understanding a certain thing, that you're perpetuating a certain energy out into the world, that you are out here doing the things you need to be doing on a daily basis consistently. And then, only then, will the Most High believe that you deserve the blessings that he has for you. You ain't just going to wake up and go out here in the world and all the blessings just going to fall on you. That ain't how it goes. You got to earn them. That's why when I say people around me have to earn my energy, they have to earn my attention, they have to earn my time, they have to earn my focus, they have to earn my resources, they got to earn everything. Why? Because I have to earn everything. How am I going to earn it and then give it to you freely? Anything of value needs to be earned, and anyone who deserves it will earn it. Famo, salute, SJ3, peace. Peace to the kingdom of Ray. Let's slide out of here, man.